Death within the fortress. December 1788, Özi Fortress. Winter had gripped the banks of the Dnieper with its icy breath. Özi Fortress had been under Russian siege for months. Inside, there was hunger, cold, thirst, and most of all, despair. Women wrapped their children in thick blankets and hid them in corners. Soldiers were preparing not for prayer in mosques, but for farewell. Commander Hussein Pasha had declared there would be no surrender. But everyone knew, the man outside, General Potemkin, was not one for mercy. And one morning, the cannons went silent, and were replaced by the silence of death. Russian troops entered the fortress, and the massacre began. The first victims were the unarmed. A woman fell to the ground with her child at the doorstep of a mosque, bayoneted. An old man was slaughtered before he could utter "I surrender." Doors of homes were broken one by one. Shelters were set ablaze. The screams of civilians cut deeper than the cannon fire. Soldiers who had laid down their weapons were executed one by one. Those who sought refuge in mosques were killed during prayer. The Dnieper turned red with blood. Some mothers hid their children in oven chimneys, but even those were torn down and burned. Bodies piled so high that the Russians threw some into the river and burned the rest. Survivors? Hardly any. Among the 20 to 25,000 inside, only a few managed to escape. But within the fortress, life no longer existed. Only ash, blood, screams, and silence. And in Istanbul, Sultan Abdul Hamid had been sleepless for days. His mind was fixated on one place, Özi Fortress. The news was delayed, but the Sultan knew. Something inside whispered, the fortress had already fallen. At last, one morning, a pale-faced messenger entered the palace gates, trembling hands holding a paper. Özi Fortress has fallen. No one survived. The Sultan gazed long and hard at the paper, as if the words weren't ink, but swords. He placed his hands on his knees, lowered his head, then gently closed his eyes. No cry, no shout. Just, his heart stopped.